Hi, my name is Sean, and welcome to an installation video of WordPress version 4.6. There's a couple of things here that may be different on how you would install WordPress. I'm installing it on a localhost environment, meaning I'm installing it directly onto my computer. So I'm going to be able to access it through a web browser that will not be available to the public because I'm locked behind a firewall. And it's as easy as dragging, dropping, and creating. It's a very simple process to run it on your localhost environment. It allows you to work with WordPress, and through this video series, you will learn then how to take your installation of WordPress and all the work that you've done and basically upload it to a server that's available to the world. So here we have the download page, which is wordpress.org/download. And there's a blue button here, download WordPress 4.6. So we download it. I have a file folder already created, localhost/dev/wp/4.6. And that's sitting over here, which is empty currently. So I'm just waiting for the process to finish its download. And then once that's done, we're going to access the PHP MyAdmin. We're going to create a database and a username, and we're going to install it. So it's been downloaded. And all I'm going to do is just open it. It's in a WordPress folder. And I'm just going to take the contents, all of that, and I'm going to drop it into this folder here. And there it is. So this page, showing nothing so far, if I refresh the page, the setup configuration page will show. So with WordPress, you can install it in many different languages. So we're going to choose English. I'm going to press continue. This welcome page is going to indicate to you that there's 5 items that you need to provide on the installation. So we're going to press let's go. And those 5 items appear here and where you can input these required pieces of information. So the database name, it would be fantastic if it would automatically create it, but unfortunately it doesn't. The username is the username you access your database with. In this case here, my PHP MyAdmin, in my case, is root. And I have a password. And then the database host is localhost. The table prefix by default is WP. I suggest changing it, which I will here. It's a localhost environment. I can change it in a later installation, but I'm just going to change it to EX, just for all purposes. And we can get into that later in reference to the table prefix and how to manage security. So the database name, we're going to create one. And how do we do that? We go to localhost, PHP MyAdmin on this XAMPP installation that I'm using. And if you're not familiar with XAMPP, please leave comments below if you'd like to know how to install XAMPP and use it, say, for WordPress, Drupal, Magento, PrestaShop, the list goes on. So in this case here, root is my username and my password is my password, which is hidden, of course. And these are all the databases down the left-hand side. And in this case here on this menu that says databases, I click it. And now I have the option of creating database, which I will. And I'm going to call it WP46 new, just for all purposes. I press create. And the database has been created. So I can copy that, go back to here, paste it in. The username again was the username I used for my PHP MyAdmin, which was root. Again, this is just for the purpose of installation. I don't recommend using root. We can get that into later. The password is going to be my secret password. It's as secret as it gets. And we press submit. Run the install. Oh, wait, we just saw something take place here on the right-hand side. A file was just created. A wp-config.php file was created. A lot of people don't have both windows open like this to actually see what happens. This is kind of neat. There'll be other files that will get created too on the installation process. So we've got this verbiage here about the installation. The button says run the install. And then this welcome page. So the site title, well, we'll call it test for now. The username, I'll go with Sean. I don't recommend using admin. Again, we can get into that later. Password we'll use for now is we love WordPress. 2016. Still very weak. Let's go with something maybe more stronger. I'll go with something like that. I'll just copy it because I won't be able to remember that. And the email, because it's on a localhost environment, you really don't have to use a real email because you probably don't have a mail server running on your system. But in my case, I will. I'll use SeanWebDev, which is my real email, at gmail.com. As the chances of a search engine coming to your localhost environment, you can turn this on or off, discourage search engines from indexing the site. If you're working on a server that is available to the world, I would recommend turning that off if you don't want your site scanned. But I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm behind a firewall. I'll make sure that is copied, which it was. My username is Sean, and I'm just basically going to press install WordPress. The htaccess file was created, as you can see over here. Success, and now I can log in. So I press Sean, I paste my password in there, I log in, I'll save it there, and I'm now logged in to the back end of WordPress. And that's as hard as it gets for the installation. You can check through your pages. They've got the typical sample page. We can view that, and we're actually viewing it all here on the localhost environment. You want to edit the page. Again, we'll get into more of the details of how to work with the dashboard, how to work with pages, how to work with posts, plugins. If there's something in particular about WordPress that you'd like to know, please leave comments below. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this quick and simple video. I totally agree. For some people, it's probably a real straightforward process, and they probably said, why did I watch it? But for some other people who have never really experienced the installation process will say, hey, great. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Take care.